Welcome to the Freedom Blueprint Show, a podcast about creating the lifestyle you want through your small business. Drawing on their experiences starting and running multi-million-dollar small businesses, three friends, John, Ryan, and Gabe, discuss how to have a business, but more importantly, a lifestyle you love.
All right. Hello, everybody. We are back, and this episode we're going to be talking about sleep. Super important topic for any person who's trying to be productive and efficient and effective in their day is if you are not sleeping well, then your day is going to be way worse, way less productive. And I know, Gabe, you've thought a lot about this, and so have I. So, yeah, maybe we can share some nuggets.
Yeah, for sure. So you actually sleep, John?
I do. It's in a coffin, actually, you know? So, but yeah, no, I sleep. I mean, believe it or not, I sleep fucking on average, I would say 8 hours and 45 minutes to 9 hours a night on average.
You have the Aura? You track it on your Aura?
I do. I track it on the Aura. How about you?
Nice. I do too.
Yeah, nice, man.
I do too.
And what about you? Like, do you sleep a lot?
I do. I love the whole Hal Elrod miracle morning type deal and that stuff. But man, I've tested it. And for me, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning just makes me tired. Gets me tired as hell. And I noticed that like my mood, my energy, how I feel throughout the day, and just my like emotional like poise and equanimity is so much greater when I just sleep, you know? So I was even doing a yoga class. I used to do a yoga class at 5:45 in the morning, which I love. Like I thoroughly enjoy the class. I have a great relationship with the teacher. She's a great friend of mine. And like the people who go to the class, it's a very small, intimate class, as you can imagine, because not a lot of people go. So, you know, you build close relationships with the people there. They're all women, but I'm the only male there. But I stopped going because I started prioritizing sleep more, and I just noticed I perform better when I sleep, man. So like, no alarm clock for me anymore. I don't do that.
No alarm. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Oh man, so you're doing no alarm. That's big.
I don't do that jazz. Yeah, I wake up just naturally, and I'm typically, I range depending on the day. Like yesterday, I was up pretty early, like 7 a.m. Without the alarm clock. And then there's other days where I wake up at 7:30, 7:45, even 8 o'clock. I'm roughly around 7:30 though. I pretty consistently tend to wake up naturally though.
Okay. See, that's my dream, man. I think that's kind of the ideal, is to be able to wake up without an alarm clock. Like just when you're fucking not tired anymore, you get up and you do stuff, like how it was, probably back in the day, historically, for human beings. For me, I just seem to be a long sleeper, because there's that research out about like, I don't know if it's like totally proven, but like short sleepers and long sleepers, and the average person's obviously in the middle, like 8 hours, but there's that like small percentage of the population who can actually like legit get by on 6 hours or 5 hours or whatever. Right. And there's another probably small percentage, probably like a bell curve, that needs like more than 8 hours. They need like fucking 9 hours, 9.5 hours, or who knows. Correct. And I seem to fall in that latter category, unfortunately. So like with no alarm clock, man, that would like make me super worried, because I know some mornings I'd fucking wake up at like 9 or 9:30 or fucking 10. Which, it's doable, but yeah, I think it'd be a challenge, but I would like to get to that.
What time do you naturally go to sleep? So like a good question you can ask yourself is, assume you were on vacation where you had no pressures, or work responsibilities around you, and you could go to sleep and you could wake up at whatever time you want. What would that time be? That's a very good indication of what your knockout time in your sleep time. But I mean, you have an Aura. Your Aura will tell you to the T, like what time you should be going to sleep. Like that thing, the technology that has is pretty amazing.
It is. Yeah, I mean, probably ideally, it would probably be like 11:15 to 12 would be when I'd go to sleep, and I'd probably wake up somewhere between like, I probably would wake up somewhere between like 8:30 and 10.
See, so that's nice. You see, so I think, so you're probably a dolphin, okay? You're either a dolphin or a wolf. Where is this book? I think my wife took it from me. But Power of When by Dr. Bruce. I don't know if you ever read that one.
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah, so you're probably a dolphin or a wolf, one of those two. But
Yeah.
people who tend to go to sleep that late, I would highly recommend, that's probably a peak productivity time for you. Like somewhere around like 10 to 11 o'clock is probably a time that you can do some pretty high productive stuff, especially creative stuff, whether it's, whether it's writing or content or something that just gets your juices flowing. But that's probably an important time for you. See, like Omer's the same way. My business partner, I'm not like that. Like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm just naturally falling asleep. I mean, sometimes, we'll have dinner and I'll be like yesterday, I was watching a movie with the kids in the couch and like 9:30 came and I'm like snoozing and knocked out already, and I end up falling asleep on the couch, and I wake up like at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. I'm like, oh, I got to go upstairs and get to bed.
And then how many hours a night are you sleeping? Like what's your optimal?
Yeah. I'm typically in bed, anywhere from, honestly, I fall asleep on the couch a lot, and it's not a good habit. But I like to watch movies with the kids at night, so it's kind of like a trade-off. But what I've learned is I kind of have a small hack for that in a sense. So before, what I used to notice is when I would fall asleep on the couch, I would get stressed and I would like push myself to get up and go to bed. Whereas now I don't do that anymore, because what will happen is, like, how, your deep sleep's typically first half of the night and then your REM sleep second half.
Yep.
I was forcing myself to interrupt my deep sleep to go up to bed, and I would lose a lot of deep sleep throughout the night and my deep sleep would be off. But now if I just let myself naturally wake up when I fall on the couch without any force or pressure, and I just go to bed when I naturally like have a little waking moment, I get plenty of deep sleep. So I still hit my 2 hours plus of deep sleep and my 2 hours plus of REM sleep, even falling on the couch. Does that answer your question?
Well, how many hours a night is optimal for you though, total?
I mean, if I'm getting anywhere, let me see. Today on my Aura Ring, I had 9 hours and 44 minutes on my ring.
Yes, I mean that's pretty fucking serious. And is that typical? Like, are you sleeping that much?
That's a lot. I fell asleep early yesterday on the couch. I wasn't. It says here I tracked my sleep was like around. I fell asleep like around 9 o'clock. I'm typically not going to sleep at 9 p.m. I'm typically a little later.
I'm sure listeners are freaking the fuck out right now. I mean, between me sleeping 9 hours a night and you getting almost 10 hours last night, they're probably like, who the hell are these guys?
Well, yesterday was 7 hours and 48 minutes.
Okay.
That's pretty typical.
I think it's around 8 typically for you.
Yeah, the night before was also 9 hours and 45. The night before was 8 hours and 50. The night before was 4 hours, which is a rough night. But even then, like even on that 4 hours of sleep, I still managed to get an hour of REM and deep sleep.
And yeah, so what does your ring show on average for you? I think you said your target is 2+ hours of deep and 2+ hours of REM. Are you hitting that consistently? Because that's pretty fucking good.
For the most part, like, I mean, look, my optimal score, and you can see here, like on my sleep, I got a crown for like the last, like not Saturday, because Saturday I only had 4 hours of sleep, but Sunday 91, Monday 88, yesterday 81, today 87. So I'm always very optimal for the most part on my Aura. And then whenever like my readiness drops, I use the readiness score a lot also to help me know when to push myself and to structure my hard workout days around. So like if my readiness tells me I'm off, I'm not going to do a hard workout that day, versus when it tells me I'm on, I'll use it or whatever,
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So let's talk about, let's talk about sleep hacks too. So for me, my optimal is around 8.5 to 9 hours. Like if I'm going to monitor how I feel the following day and not feel tired and feel rested, for me, it's at least 8.5 hours. And usually it's like around 9 hours. That's, if I can sleep less than that, of course I can sleep 8, I can sleep 7, I can sleep 7.5, but I will feel noticeably more tired. And my basic argument on all this shit is like, I would rather sleep 2 hours more, or an hour more, let's say, sleep an hour more, and be, in my view, 15 to 20% more productive and more effective, because I'm not fucking dragging ass all day. And across, a 10-hour workday or an 8-hour workday, I'm probably still coming out ahead, and I'm feeling a lot freaking better, while I'm doing it. So I am not at all one of those annoying, like, little sleep is a badge of honor people,
Yeah.
you know, where they're like, oh yeah, man, I'm up at 3 a.m. I sleep, 4 hours a night, it's all good, man. Like, what do you do? Like, you just don't have to fucking do that. You can be successful as you are and as I am, and listen to your fucking body. And if you need to sleep, then fucking sleep.
Yeah, I'm the opposite mindset when it comes to that. Like, I think it's a crime to not sleep. I mean, if you have to do it every now and then, like for whatever reason, there's a really good reason that, I mean, it's fine. I mean, do whatever you want, but as just a regular habit, I think sleep is so important. I mean, if I were you, I would challenge you to drop the alarm, man. Like, who cares if you wake up at 9 o'clock, 9:30? Like,
Yeah.
your business
Yeah.
is doing well. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be
For
a
me,
cool
like,
experiment. Yeah.
for me, like I've seen night and day the difference. I just noticed I'm just much less stressed. And
Totally.
there's an intangible there, which is just overall enjoyment of life. And for me, the overall enjoyment of life goes way up when I don't use an alarm clock. It's just I'm just more in flow. I find myself more in flow throughout the day. I'm more relaxed. I'm happier. Less stress. And I find myself more resilient, man. Like I never get sick, it just makes a big difference.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe you'll inspire me to try it for a week if I do a report back on the podcast and see if I can do maybe just a week or something of no alarm and just kind of see how it goes. Yeah, it would be interesting. Now, in terms of hacks and shit, so first of all, why don't we talk about supplements maybe?
For sure.
Do you do any sleep supplements? Like I do. I'll go first. I do magnesium, and then I do this thing called Sleep Fairy on Amazon I've been using because I kind of often benefit from some sort of help, but it's like valerian root, melatonin, like dandelion, like it's just all kind of natural herb.
Not natural herbs.
Shit.
What is it? Is it tincture or is it a capsule or a pill or something?
It's just a capsule.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
that's kind of what I've
valerian.
been doing.
I love valerian. Valerian really works for me. I got the tincture, and I'll put under the tongue or whatever, and I notice significant differences in my mood at night when I tone down. I do a lot of supplements. I do the magnesium glycinate as well. Yep. Typically anywhere from like 400 to 600 milligrams on days that I have a hard workout. I'll double down. What else? Vitamin C. I mean, that's just for immunity though, and not for sleep. I'll do the melatonin as well. I love the sleep mode bulletproof product that's got the L-ornithine and the melatonin. That thing knocks me out. But I notice I don't feel woozy when I wake up in the next morning, but I'm just like, I feel like I'm too relaxed when I wake up in the morning when I take it. It's got I think it's got 3 milligrams of melatonin. So I do, I just have a separate product that I use for melatonin now, which is just like a 1 milligram capsule. And I'll just pop 1 milligram and I find that works pretty well. And then if there's some days where I feel myself more stressed, or anxious or stressed or tired, then I'll double down and I'll take a little bit more.
Okay.
The melatonin, the valerian root, the kava. One of the things I love too is the CBD and THC tincture. The CBD by itself, it's just too expensive. I think for you to get the benefits of CBD, it's not something I'm willing to pay for. You're probably going to have to spend like $500-600 a month just on CBD alone because you have to take so much of it. And on the lower doses, I've done it myself, and I just don't notice any difference. But when I combine that with the THC, I have like an 8-to-1 extract tincture at home. Oh man, it's so awesome to just mellow out at night and just like calm down. It's great.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. I mean, especially with now this shit's legal in more places, more people have access to it.
Yeah. I got I want to get the license. I have a friend that's got it. So I kind of just, use his or whatever and just give him the money and he gets it for me. But that stuff works really well. The L-theanine is good too to kind of help ease the nerves. The GABA, 5-HTP as well. I don't take those every day, but I just take them if I notice I'm more stressed than usual. Those really help tone down, and then you stack them all those things, the kava, the valerian root, all those things, like it just really, really helps mellow you out at night and just kind of puts you in a nice relaxed mood where your just stress levels go down and you kind of get in this nice little zone. It's even funny. Sometimes it sparks my creativity and I get so relaxed and my creativity goes up and then I want to do something creative,
Yeah. I mean, I kind of find, and what you were saying earlier, I think may be right. I find that I can sometimes get a second wind. Like I'll get tired around 6 or something like that. and then I'll just be like eat dinner, and then I'll just like usually just flop down and watch TV or something for a while. But then sometimes around 8 or 9, I almost get like a second win, maybe like 9:30. So probably just, to your point about, where I'm at in the sleep cycle. How about in terms of hacks? So I mean, like my big thing is like what Brendan Burchard, if you know who he is, talks about
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So he has the 3-2-1 rule, which I think is super legit. Don't eat
Tell me
within
about
3
it.
hours. Yeah, don't eat within 3 hours of bed. Don't work within 2 hours of bed, and no screen within 1 hour of bed. So I find that my deep sleep literally will go from like maybe just over an hour on average to almost 2 hours or just over 2 hours. So it'll go up by like fucking 40-50% if I follow all 3 aspects of that rule. My hardest one for me is the fucking no screens, because a lot of times I'm just tired on the couch, fucking watching TV. I've been disciplined and strict with myself all day. I just don't want to have to fucking like have any more discipline. Just to shut the TV off and read, or to listen to a podcast or whatever. But man, when I fucking do all 3 of those things, it's my deep sleep goes up by like I said, like 40-50%. It's huge for me.
I think that so I'd be curious. I think Brendan's rules, for the most part, I never heard about that. And I like Brendan a lot. I really admire him. Do you have blue light blocking glasses?
I do, yeah. So I wear blue light pretty much, from when the sun goes down. I have all the other shit too. I've got like a face mask that, at least like second half of the night I put on. And then usually when I'm at my normal place, I have like super hardcore fucking blackout
I have the
blinds.
blackout.
Like
I have
way
the
up.
yeah. I have the blackout blinds at home. Yeah.
I got the ones that go up to the fucking like the ceiling, and then I fucking like Velcro the sides, like really insane.
So nothing gets in. I don't have the Velcro thing yet, but I'm moving to a new apartment now. When I move to a new apartment, then I want to get the drop down blind and then the curtains. So right now I have the curtains, but just with the curtains alone, there's still little leakage through the sides.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, fuck that shit. So yeah. I find these really cool blackout ones where, because you have the curtain bar, and these blackout ones actually have additional curtain material above the bar. So, you slip it in as it above the bar. And then I just got ones that were like much too wide for the space. So there's just plenty of room. And then you either can Velcro it, or you can just use a little tiny nail and just fucking tack it in. All along the wall, and then I unplug all my shit at night too. I unplug my router.
The router is important. I notice I sleep better. And I wake up less stressed when I turn the Wi-Fi. I just have a timer, so I don't have to manually do it, and the timer just shuts it off every night.
Yeah, I found that to be. I mean, I don't know if it's pseudoscience or what the fuck, but I do feel like it may have a positive impact for me as well. The Wi-Fi router thing. So for those folks listening, give it a fucking try. For a week, see if it has an impact for you.
I got a good functional medicine doctor who's actually ran a mitochondrial test on his wife with the Wi-Fi on and off in his house, and he's noticed significant improvements in mitochondrial function without the router. So it's interesting. I'm doing now when I move into my new apartment, I got the grounding mat, which I'm curious to see how that affects my sleep in any way. And for those listening, like if you got a spouse and your spouse is very particular with the temperature that you guys sleep in the house with, a chili pad, or now they have the new product, the Uller, which is super cool. That kind of heats up that night and I'm in the daytime when it's time to wake up or whatever. Would be a game changer for sleep. For me, I've always wanted to try one. But
you've never tried the chili pad or the Uller?
I've never tried it. We sleep pretty cold though. Like I put the AC here around 65 to 64 degrees.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, so I just felt that, I didn't know like how much of a difference it would make since I'm already sleeping cold, But if my wife was like, you can't put it less than 70, then I definitely would get one.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's a big thing for me too, is that fucking temperature. And that's the cool thing about these rings, right? Is that it shows you to get to neutral body temperature or be like slightly under that.
Right.
Have you found that as well? Like that definitely also correlates with with significantly higher quality sleep for me, like more deep and more REM is when I'm like neutral or in the negative on the body temperature thing on the Aura.
Right.
It's been big for me too. Have you found that also?
I haven't looked at that particular. No.
Okay.
What I have noticed for me, like the greatest hacks for me, I haven't noticed much about eating
Really?
on my sleep, but I have noticed my readiness though. So eating.
Because your heart rate will get jacked up at the beginning of your sleep if you have the food in your stomach because you're digesting, right?
Correct. So eating late has a huge impact on my readiness score.
Yeah,
Huge.
definitely.
So I have noticed that fasting is great for my sleep. Whenever I fast, I tend to get way better sleep. And honestly, one of the biggest things, believe it or not, for me, sleeping cold as well, temperature, but the blue light blocking glasses. Like I fall asleep watching TV, and the screens are on, and I'm waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes the TV's still on. But as long as I have my blue light blocking glasses, I'm good. Like I haven't seen any correlation with the glasses on, having the screens on or off, as far as sleep goes. But without the glasses, then I've noticed huge differences. I mean, you're talking about 20, 30, 40% differences in my sleep quality without the glasses. So for me, the glasses are a big deal. Even the junk light in the daytime, like with how you feel and mood, like in my kitchen and in my house, and especially in the new apartment I'm moving to, I'm getting all like biological friendly lighting inside, and I got these when I go to places like that got shitty lighting. I got my day walkers to have them on too, because I'm sensitive to that stuff, man. And I just noticed, like when I go to the gym, as an example, the lighting in the gym suck. And I noticed that when I work outdoors, I feel so much better. And I'm like, why is that? Like, why do I feel so much better when I work outdoors when I work, but I like the weights. And I started taking my glasses to the gym, and that like did it for me. That was a big deal to how I felt,
Yeah, and the important thing I think is to be test and tracking it, right? So that's what our Aura Ring does for us, is we're able to track this shit, and now we're testing it, right? So for me, the no screen an hour before bed is a huge thing. For you, you're saying you're fine without that, but the blue light thing is huge for you. The blue light thing for me is not that big of a deal. Like when I forget to put my glasses on, it has a slight impact, but it's not that big of a deal for me. So everyone's a little bit different. Have you tested no screen for an hour before bed and seen if that has any impact?
Yeah, I mean, I have, and I maybe haven't done the test long enough to notice, because I typically do wear, I do have screens before bed, typically the TV. I'm not a phone guy or a laptop guy at night. I typically don't work on anything, but the TVs mostly is my time with the kids. We like to watch movies and stuff. But what I have seen, like I said, is with the glasses. So if we watch movies, without the glasses on, like my sleep gets wrecked. The lighting just really messes with my sleep.
Yeah, so I mean, one thing I did, so I moved out of my apartment and I'm living in Airbnbs. But when I had on my setup, is so I had the Philips Hue lights that can change colors, and so I would turn it to orange while I was eating dinner, and then afterwards, when I was just watching TV and unwinding closer to bed, I would turn it to red. So that and plus I would wear my blue light blockers too. So kind of similar to what you're talking about. I've also seen those lights that are like more like the old timey kind of lights. They're not like the LED kind.
The halogen.
I forget what kind they are, but I think what you're talking about, where they throw off a lot more of like natural light, kind of light with a lot less blue light in it. So the light thing was big for me, and it's pretty funny. The exact same temperature though, man. Like if I don't have my chili pad, which I have one, so I use that as well. But it was 64 degrees was like my sweet spot for like my best sleep.
Is it?
So it's almost the exact same as you. And then for the chili pad, I put the chili pad on like 58 degrees. Plus I put the AC on 67. And like and that's a weird thing. If I didn't have the ring, I wouldn't know this, is like I feel fucking cold half the time. Like I'll wake up and I'll be like, fuck, I'm cold. But then I look at my sleep and I sleep substantially better in that state. And that's the kind of thing you just wouldn't know if you didn't have the data. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've done that too.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's super interesting. The what was I gonna say with the sleep and the
with the lights and stuff?
Oh, with the lights, yeah. So if you look up True Dark, company founded by Dave Asprey, they got these super cool lights that if you put them on, it's got the optimal lighting for daytime. It's probably not as good as a halogen, but it's the best you're going to get with an LED type bulb. And then it works with the dimmer switch. So as you dim the light will automatically, the color temperature would automatically change based on the dimming settings. So if you dim all the way down, then it goes red, And
are those the blue light blockers that you use, or the ones from the Asprey?
From True Dark? No,
Yeah.
I bought some on Amazon.
Just like generic ones.
These are the True Dark Daywalkers, though. I did get them, but I bought someone on Amazon that I looked at the COA and just make sure that it was tested to block all the blue lights, and it's got wraparounds. I got two. I got like the Swannies, which I'll kind of use at night. Like, I mean, like if I go out in a social gathering, because they're just like a little more stylish, they look a little cooler. But then like my ones that I use all time, they block the sides too. So like, they just don't look as I don't know what the word is. I guess stylish if you go out like in a social setting. So yeah.
So let's see. So yeah, so I do use the chili pad. I mean, actually, believe it or not, I wouldn't be a huge recommender of the chili pad. I was hoping it was going to be a game changer. It didn't change it for me at all. Just like you're saying, like if you have the capacity to just turn it on super low your AC, like it makes no difference. It didn't help me anymore.
Yeah.
And also, for some reason, I guess because I have to turn it down so low, like it was like having little moisture spots that was like coming through. So like literally like little tiny like wet things, and they said it was due to condensation or some shit. But that was totally like obviously counterproductive because now you've got cold ass water, and so that was like waking me up. So yeah, like I think for my next one, I'm probably going to get the pod. If you've seen that mattress,
now they got the Uller, which is cool. I don't know if you've seen that from Chili Pad.
I have. Yeah.
So now it warms up, in the day, like as certain parts of the day, which to start helping you like wake up and stuff, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool. Or the pod it's $3,000 the mattress, but it's got the shit built in. So it's not like a mattress topper thing that can have the condensation. It has all the shit built in. It also tracks your heart rate variability and all this kind of stuff. Maybe we could talk about that real quick. Like, what do you find in terms of readiness with your HRV, with your resting heart rate, all that kind of stuff? Like, where are you typically at with HRV, and where are you typically at with like your lowest resting heart rate? I'm usually 50. I'm usually like 50 to 52 lowest resting, and I'm usually like 40 to 50 in HRV.
So I don't look at the number on the HRV. I just look at like my balance on the Aura, but like my resting heart rate today on the Aura. And the thing is with Aura though, it's you have to know, like it doesn't track your resting heart rate throughout the day. This is like specifically the resting heart rate, like when you go to bed or a certain time before sleep or something. But yeah, mine's is like today it was 56. Yesterday was 54, Monday 51, 52. So I'm in the 50s, for resting heart rate. And then what was the other one? Heart rate variability.
Yeah, HRV. Are you like, yeah?
My average is in like the 40s.
Okay, yeah, so similar to mine. I'm like usually 40 to 50. Like there was a while where I don't know what the fuck I was doing though, man, where it was like I was getting into like the 42 to 44 lowest resting, and I was getting like 60 to 70 HRV. I was like blown out of the fucking water. And like I journal and stuff and I record a lot of stuff, but I cannot fucking figure out what the hell I was doing.
It happens. There's a really cool product that I want to try. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called the Apollo. Oh man, I can't think of the name. I think it's called Apollo Mind or Apollo. It's something with the word Apollo in it, and it's a band. And it's got some great clinical studies behind it. And it basically sends specific pulses through your body, and it's shown in clinical double-blind studies to basically increase your HRV, which I find super, super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. If you fucking try that shit, let me know. I mean, I fucking love gadgets.
Yeah, like that's one that I really want to get just because it's so well researched. It's not that bad. It's like I think it's like $300, $350. But I want to try one of those. I mean, for me, readiness, like I said, the fasting as well is a huge one for me. If I fast, I can bounce back pretty quick. If I have a really hard workout, my readiness will drop the next day. And that's kind of expected. It depends. Like if I do like a HIIT session in the park, it stays pretty well, I guess, because I'm not stressing myself enough. But when I go to the gym, which I tend to only do once a week, and I really, really push myself and lift heavy, my readiness tends to take a dip. But sauna sessions increase my readiness. Cold water therapy or cryotherapy increased the readiness. Fasting, not eating late is really that. Not eating late, I think, for me is one of the biggest ones. Like if I have a late meal, my readiness just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if I have a late meal or if I have a heavy meal, right? So let's say I go to a and I'm not eating my low carb, pretty healthy, pretty light kind of way, and I have like, a big ass bowl of pasta or something, even if it is that 3 hours plus sometimes, just that heavy meal fucking destroy my readiness. If I
Destroy
have, yeah, if I have 2 glasses of wine, it destroys my sleep, my readiness. If I have one glass,
alcohol.
yeah, it's a negative impact. 2 glasses, man, or up, even just 2 glasses, it fucking kills me. So alcohol is a killer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't drink any alcohol, so I don't know how that would work. But yeah, I can eat. I mean, I'm pretty much almost on an OMAD diet right now, where I only have one meal a day, and that tends to be towards the ender part of the day. So I would love to have my meals around 5:36, but sometimes that's just doesn't happen. But as long as I eat before 8, I'm okay. So I can have like a really, really big meal at 7 o'clock, 6:30, and I'm fine. But if I eat past like 8:30, it gets shot tremendously,
So you don't feel like you need the 3 hours, like you're good even just with 2 hours or more, it sounds like?
Yeah,
Or
like
better?
yesterday, as a matter of fact, like look, yesterday I had dinner exactly at 8 o'clock, and I had a New York strip, a 16-ounce New York strip, with 2 pastured eggs. I didn't have any veggies or yesterday because my stomach was feeling a little weird. So whenever my stomach's off, no fiber that day. And my sleep was a 90 today. And I was
What time
fine.
did you go to bed? You said you ate at 8. What time did you go to bed?
I went to sleep early. Actually, I fell asleep on the couch at 8:57. So
Man,
yesterday
within an
was kind
hour.
of an
Holy
anomaly.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And
but that's kind of an anomaly, and I don't know if maybe because I didn't have any carbs either. That
right.
Well, I did have some carbs. I had some fruit at night for dessert. I had a little bone broth shake where I put a couple berries, some coconut fat, some coconut cream, and a bone broth in it. But yeah.
Well, cool.
The carbs too is a good sleep hack. Whenever, if you're not sleeping and you have some nice healthy carbs at night, I noticed that has a big impact on my sleep as well.
On your sleep quality or on your ability to fall asleep?
On my sleep quality, as far as like deep sleep and REM sleep and efficiency as well.
Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. And then how about meditation? I also find that along with the 3-2-1 thing, which is like kind of my Bible really for good sleep, is also when I meditate, especially within the last hour of sleep, even for just like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that also tends to give me, I feel like maybe 5 to 10%, more deep sleep on average, I would say. I don't know if you found that.
I haven't tested that. I for the most part, I don't meditate consistently at night. Once in a blue moon, I'll meditate at night, or like right when I'm in bed, I'll do a quick like couple minute meditation to just help me knock out. But I don't meditate regularly at night, so it's not something I've tracked. One thing cool that I've been doing lately that does help is I've been I don't know are you familiar with the Wim Hof breathing?
Yep.
So I'll do like because I still sometimes wake up at night. I found myself I found myself in a really light state of sleep where you're kind of awake, but you're kind of sleeping, like you're right there in the middle. And I find if I do a Wim Hof breathing session, 1 or 2 of those, man, it puts me right back to sleep. Like really, really good.
Well, that's a good tip right there. Yeah, because I have that issue too. I'm going to try that the next time that happens to me, because that happens to me regularly. Cool,
where
man.
You're up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good shit, dude. Well, we filled up we have plenty to talk about for 30 minutes plus on this, so there wasn't a reason to be concerned. So, yeah, man, that's good shit. I think we can probably wrap here because I got to run to something. But, yeah, dude, I appreciate it as always. Good chatting with you.
For sure, brother.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right, bro. See you on the next one, man. Peace.
Yeah.